Hey guys, Captain Smash, Smash Strength Lab, Ottawa, Ontario. So today's topic is how women's training differs from that of men. So a lot of people will say, hey, there's no difference between training men and women. They're both the same. We both have the same type of muscle fibers. We both operate the same way. And in a lot of cases, yes, this is true, but training for women is definitely quite a bit different simply because women have a different hormone profile than men. So, and it changes all the time. So on the board I have behind me, I have a typical 28-day cycle, which is typically, the mediocre realm where women fall in their menstrual cycle. Now, the tricky thing is, all women are a little different. Some are 28 days, some are 26, some are 30. There's no real predictable pattern unless you've been keeping track over time. So, but here's where it gets really tricky is the fact that women have both estrogen and progesterone, which cycle on and off due to their ovulation cycle. So in the follicular phase, both early and late, we see a large rise in testosterone, or scratch that, large rise in estrogen. So we see estrogen from a low standard to come up and peak right around the center. And then all of a sudden, we start seeing progesterone, which has been kind of on the low side down here for a while, kind of start creeping its way back up. And so while estrogen starts on to its fall and then does a pattern somewhat like that, then we get progesterone taking over for estrogen and peaking right about here until it starts falling off as well towards the end of our menstrual cycle. So now you can tell that a large rise in estrogen is going to have different effects on the body, and also followed by a rapid decline of the estrogen towards the middle of the cycle, with the progesterone taking over for it right there as soon as the estrogen falls off the curve. Now this is not a perfect graph, I get it. But just keep in mind, at one point estrogen is going to rise and then fall down really drastically, and progesterone is going to hopefully take over for that. So now here's the tricky thing. Both of these hormones have different effects on the body and different things that women are going to experience, which is why women get premenstrual syndrome, they get cramping, they get bloating, blah, 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 blah. And in my opinion, women have the short end of the stick because guys are relatively easy. We're pretty much this little straight line down here, which would be kind of women's testosterone. It might kind of peak around there. But overall, women have a little bit of testosterone, but not a whole lot. Some are higher, some are lower, depending on their current hormonal environment. But typically this is the pattern that you should see in a healthy woman, okay? Providing there's no issues with food intake and other hormonal issues that could be affected by stress or lack of sleep or things of that nature. So now, during the follicular phase, as estrogen starts rising, you see a very large increase in insulin sensitivity. That's a good thing, right? You want a high level of insulin sensitivity because that means your blood sugar level is very responsive to food. So you're able to store carbs and fuel sources very easily. It doesn't take a lot of carbohydrates to, increase your insulin and then store fuel. So you also see an increase in leptin signaling or leptin responsiveness, which basically enables you to be more in control of your dietary pattern, and you regulate your hunger very well. You have an increase in AMPK, which increases your overall fat burning potential. So you're able to burn more fat during this phase, which is great. So, and also a lower amount of muscle damage. So this is a good time during this follicular phase for women to build muscle because they don't get fatigued very easily. They can handle a lot of volume. Their nutrition is under control, and they have a good amount of control over what they're eating. Now, when you see estrogen fall off the curve, then you have progesterone, which comes into play. Progesterone has its whole other set of ballgame. So you're getting a good boost of your metabolism with an increased caloric burn throughout the day. However, you're also experiencing a large amount of cravings. So right around this midline here, right in here, where these start to take effect, you get a really good boost to your metabolism where you're burning about 100 to 300 extra kilocalories a day. The problem with this is you're also craving more food. The other problem is your fat storage hormones are kicked up, so you're storing more fat. So this is a survival mechanism for women that, if you're gonna get pregnant, obviously you want to have a healthy kid, so your body senses, okay, well, it's, time to release the egg, we're going to try to make a baby, and we want that baby to be healthy, so we got to increase mom's food supply, so she stores up a little bit of fat just in case there's not a lot of food available, she can still survive off of stored fat. Makes sense, right? So the other problems with progesterone are you get a decrease in testosterone. You also get the aldosterone receptor gets kind of blocked off by progesterone's effects, so you get a large amount of bloating. So this almost points towards a different training pattern for men and women, right? And women need to be conscious of their cycle, where they're at in their cycle, and adjust their hormone or adjust their workouts and even nutrition patterns in conjunction with their hormone levels. Now, I haven't quite cracked the code on this one yet, but this is something that I've been working on for a while. I've been researching this quite rigorously, and I'm almost there. I have a setup for a basic workout template that kind of gets into the muscle building and strength effects during the middle of the cycle here in the follicular phase, where women can really build muscle and control their nutrition intake. And then towards the luteal phase, means we have this added calorie burn, but with the added cravings, we're also going to try to throw in a lot of extra conditioning moves that are a little lighter, that take a lot less stress on the body, but that will still burn overall more calories. So that would enable a woman to set up her programming so that she's able to build muscle and strength in the first half of the phase, and then cut down on body fat in the second half of the phase rather easily with that increased calorie burn. As long as she can control her nutrient intake, which is a whole nother set of factors, and I'm also working on that, is to not only whittle down her body fat very easily and control her cravings, but also have less bloating, less premenstrual symptoms, and then, when the cycle repeats, we go right back into that same cycle, okay? So, training in men and women isn't that different in terms of exercises. It just simply needs to be regulated on a hormonal basis. And if you can quickly track or keep track of where you are at in your cycle and how you feel, you can manipulate your workouts and your nutrition patterns in order to better fit the bill. So now, notes on nutrition. During this follicular phase, being women have a higher insulin sensitivity and they're more in control of their calories, this is a good time to add in a little bit of extra carbohydrates into their nutrition pattern, because they're going to be able to burn it off very easily. And they're also going to be whittling down their fat because they're more prompted to burn fat as fuel at this point. Now, when you get into the luteal phase, once estrogen falls down and progesterone starts increasing, now it's a good time to take away the carbohydrates to overall cut down on the amount of insulin that you're producing, and also thereby cut down on the amount of fat storage that you're taking in. The hard thing is controlling those cravings, right? That's the thing with every weight loss diet. You need to be able to control your hunger. So how we regulate that, I don't know quite yet, but we're working on it. So the big thing is stimulating the dopamine receptors to increase feelings of well-being and good. So, exercise is obviously a big one. Getting enough healthy food, but shifting more towards a fat and protein-based diet towards the luteal phase to help control body fat, control hunger, and also help increase burn off more body fat. So, again, men and women, totally different creatures when it comes to training. We need to be able to manipulate the variables for them so that they can train better and safer, and also get more out of their training. So, again, this is Captain Smash, bringing you this from Smash the Strength Lab. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you think somebody else might like it, give it a share. I'll chat with you guys soon when I have more information. Check out the workout at the bottom of this blog post. I hope you enjoy it. It's set up similarly along these lines, so muscle building effects here, more conditioning over here, in order to help you on your weight loss goals. Smash out.